As far as the phenomenon of alien abduction, the entire scenario of various creatures that people have encountered. There's something that I wanted to pretty much find out from anyone who's been through this. What species have you encountered? Hello everyone, once again this is Dare to Speak, and I wanted to do this video in hopes of reaching somebody out there as to finding out something on this whole alien phenomenon when it comes to human abductions. I have done a few videos on aliens, not too many but a few of them. And my experience was mostly from my childhood that I remembered. And it was pretty much even. A little bit of my childhood, a little bit of my adulthood. And nothing so far has happened since, I don't know, 10 years or so. I don't know, something like that. Maybe a little less. I have encountered at least a good 5 times in my adult years, when I was in my 30s, up until my early 40s. I did remember encounters with, I would say, like mantis type aliens. They resembled closely to the Greys, but they had like a mantis, praying mantis type of shaped head, like a light bulb type shaped head, and it gets skinny here, but it looked more mantis-like, and the skin was very white, and they were wearing cloaks. Like a dark, like a monk robe type of cloaks. I saw on 4 different occasions these type of beings. I saw one at a distance when I was living in this house. I was on my bed, and I saw it in the doorway. It was about a good, maybe, I would say 15 or 18 feet away, and it looked more like a hologram image, and I couldn't move, and I was in sleep paralysis, and this thing was observing me, and as it was observing me, of course, that's when I decided to stop praying. Because I would usually use the Lord's Prayer back then, at that time when I used to believe in God. I used to use that to help me break free from the paralysis and to chase away whatever was in the room. But I decided not to pray, nothing from the Bible, not the Lord's Prayer, and then I just said basically, I don't care who you are, stay the fuck away from me. Get away, with an attitude, and that worked. Just that by itself, that worked. And for some strange reason, to me, okay, I can only speak for myself. Maybe some of you might relate to this. I don't know. to me, it was 3 times more effective. But I'm just seeing it from my own experience. And there was one that I mentioned before in another video where I was living somewhere else, and these two beings, same type, mantis-like with the cloaks, and they were trying to do something to my head. They had like some kind of device, and I heard like a strange noise, and then I did invoke some words, but it was nothing from the Bible, and it was something that I came up with on my own, from my own studies, from a different source. And it wasn't witchcraft or anything like that. It was something else, and I can't exactly say what I said, but it was very effective and it's very powerful. But I just can't say on video what it says because to me it's very sensitive, and there's a lot to explain on that. I just can't. But I invoke these words, and it has to do with well, I can't really say that part either. But I said it, and then I managed to break free from the paralysis, and I moved, and I was getting off from the bed. They saw me. They quickly turned around and disappeared into the wall. Now, these creatures are not spirits. What I noticed from a telepathic or these kind of energy that I was getting, or these vibes, this vibration of energy that I was getting from them, that they were actually holograms. They're actually real flesh and blood creatures. They are physical, biological creatures. They were just using their technology to make their bodies incorporeal, to do something to the molecules of their bodies, allowing them to pass through solid matter. That's how, by something they wore around their waist, or a wrist, or some kind of bracelet, or maybe some kind of device that they were holding once, and then they either press a button, or I don't know how they do it, how they do what they do, I don't know, and then they are able to move through solid matter, like a ghost, just go in and out. That's why a lot of people mistaken them for demons or spiritual beings, which is not true. And it's not to be rude or anything like that, but it's a very stupid thing to actually believe. But again, I'm sorry for saying that, but it is stupid. They use the technology to move that, and then I noticed, I could just sense, because I'm very psychic when I encounter these things, and I know exactly what they are because of it. And I have epiphanies, a very strong, powerful epiphanies because of it. These creatures disappeared into the wall when I was able to break free. And that's something that I also noticed from with my encounter with fairy beings, elves, hobgoblins, and bogarts. I encountered them, and they're also biological creatures. They have something that they use or on them, or something they hold, allowing them to move in our dimensions. They can move from the physical plane, because they're physical to begin with. They were made biologically, and they can travel through dimensions with this advanced technology. Without it, they're no different than you and me, except that they're very strong. That's why they're so fast. They have a high degree of muscle tone that you cannot even believe. Anyways, aside from that, there was other encounters that I had with these mantis type creatures. And they were always like either spying on me or observing me for some reason, or whatever reason, whatever agenda that they have. There was only 2 things that I remember as far as reptilian. But I was a young kid. I know exactly how they look like, but I can't describe in detail how they look like, because for one, it's better if I drew a picture of it, but I can't draw a picture of it. I tried, but I can't do a good job on it, on how they actually look like. I would have to get a professional artist, and I wanted to describe in detail how they look like, and you would have to come close to it. But I was a kid, so I do remember in that sense. There was one or maybe two encounters with the Greys, with the regular Greys that we know of, doing the same thing. Now, according to many abductees, 90% of the time they encounter the gray aliens. The other 10% is usually the mantis or the reptilian. So I want to know, what is your encounter with what type of species? What do they look like, from your opinion? Describe them in detail if you can. And just let me know what happened in this scenario. What were they trying to do to you? When you were asleep, the typical scenario. They're standing next to your bed, and doing whatever to you, or you were watching TV, or you were driving and something happened. Whatever the scenario is, just tell me what happened. I would love to hear from you if you want to share your story. It's up to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And to all of you, take care.